If you went to school in Singapore in the 90s or early 2000s, you have likely remembered TAF Club. And here's the strange part, the program actually worked. So why was it scrapped? Watch on and you'll know what really happened to it. So, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, here's what happened when I was in primary 4. Okay, imagine I'm a chubby little blue cat in primary 4. Every year, there's a dreaded weighing day. The whole class lines up one by one to measure their height and weight. In some schools, your height and weight were literally printed out and pinned up on the class notice board for all to see. Then comes the verdict. My BMI is over the 9, and here's the thing, I'll now be part of the Trim and Fit program, commonly known as TAF Club. And because I'm in the program, my recess will be different. While my friends are sitting at the canteen during recess, eating and gossiping, I, together with a group of TAF Club members, will be exercising like skipping ropes or running. Sometimes, I even have to go to school earlier to exercise. But the worst part wasn't even the exercise. It was being singled out by my classmates. Everyone knew who the TAF Club kids were. You would get called out at assembly, in class, and in front of everyone. And people often call TAF Club as Fat Club, since if you spell TAF Club backwards, it's Fat Club. So, what is TAF Club? As mentioned, TAF stands for Trim and Fit. It was a weight management program run by the Ministry of Education that targeted child obesity in Singapore schools between 1992 and 2007. And it didn't come from nowhere. The TAF program was introduced in 1992 as part of the National Healthy Lifestyle Campaign, following a 1991 review of the nation's health plan by a national committee. Back then, childhood obesity was a real and rising concern, and Singapore decided to tackle it head-on systematically through the schools. To some of us, we only remember the students having to exercise much more during recess. But here's the thing you likely did not know. It was actually a multidisciplinary program. The TAF program aimed to reduce obesity and improve fitness across primary, secondary, and pre-university schools by targeting not just the students, but also parents, teachers, and the whole school environment. So, how does it work? Firstly, nutrition education was built into the former school curriculum. Food and drinks sold in canteens were subject to control measures. Water coolers were installed in all schools to encourage kids to drink plain water instead of sweet drinks. But these are for all students. What do students in TAF Club experience? Of course, firstly, they were assigned extra physical exercise, often during recess or before and after school hours, on top of the normal PE curriculum. Secondly, some schools were reportedly also using food ration coupons that kept how many calories a kid from TAF Club could buy and eat during recess. And here's the kicker. The amount of food you can buy and eat was inversely proportionate to how overweight you were. The heavier you were, the less you could buy. Schools were also given a lot of discretion in how they run TAF Club, which is why my experience might be different from your experience. And as we will see, that freedom is exactly where things went sideways. But before that, here's the burning question. Does it work? If you are looking to advertise your business in this channel, we can help you. There are guaranteed views and many big brands have trusted us. Just click on the link in the description. Here's the thing, the TAF Club program actually worked very well in fact. The program reduced the proportion of overweight school children from 14% in 1992 to about 9.5% by 2006, which is the period when the program was active. That's a real measurable drop. Therefore, by the pure numbers, you could call it a public health success. So, why was it discontinued? Well, these numbers came at a cost that did not show up at any weighing scale. I think by now, you should know what's wrong. Firstly, the stigma was brutal. Because schools had so much discretion, some took it to the extremes. There were reports of schools implementing almost segregation-like arrangements. For example, grouping children at separate normal and overweight tables during recess. Many TAF Club kids later reported teasing, stress, low self-esteem, and the feeling of being publicly labelled the fat kid. And the name did not help. As critics pointed out early on, the program's name spelled fat backwards. And the third problem is the most serious one. There is allegedly only, so it's not confirmed, a possible link to eating disorders. Now, let me reiterate this. This is not confirmed. What happened is that in 2005, an NUS study of around 4,400 schoolgirls linked the TAF program to an increase in disordered eating. Around the same period, local research also found a sharp rise in anorexia cases between 1994 and 2002. But to be fair, MOE disputed the study's link between TAF program and eating disorders, saying eating disorders are complex psychological problems that cannot be attributed to a single factor. The link remains contested rather than definitively proven. But the studies put a serious question mark whether singling out overweight kids was doing more harm than good. So, why does it end? In 2007, MOE announced it will scrap the 15-year-old TAF program and replace it the following year. A senior parliamentary secretary for education at that time openly acknowledged the core flaw, telling the Straits Times, in essence, that if you only focus on overweight children, then no matter what you call the program, a stigma will always be attached to it. And the program will be replaced by the Holistic Health Framework, HHF, which is still in use in Singapore schools today. So, what's the difference? The HHF takes the view that total well-being goes beyond weight and fitness. It includes the physical, mental, and social health of all students, not just the overweight ones. Instead of pulling specific kids out for punishment-style exercise, every single student learns the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to live healthily through PE and the curriculum. And as for students who are outside the healthy weight range, rather than public skipping sessions, school now support them more discreetly, using strategies like journaling, goal setting, and action planning to gradually improve their health, specifically designed to avoid embarrassment or stigmatization. In short, TAF Club single you out while HHF tries to lift everyone up. Anyways, if TAF Club happen now, I can bet that we will be seeing countless TikTokers criticizing the program, but you cannot deny the fact that it works. Therefore, the question now is this: do you think this is a good program? Nevertheless, exercising is always good, whether you're overweight or not. But have you ever wondered why are people now obsessed with Zone 2 running? Watch this and you understand. Also, if you want to advertise with us, even as a standalone video, do contact us. Our website is in the description, or you can scan this QR code. Thank you for spending almost 6 minutes with me. I really appreciate it and hope you learned something.